All right. Manchester United 5, Rosenborg nil. Yes, Manchester United had their second preseason game yesterday against Rosenborg in Norway. So the game ended in 5 goals to 0 for Manchester United. United after the 1-0 loss against West Ham. So they came back this time around with an improved performance against Rosenborg. Now, here are the 5 things we learned from the game between Manchester United and Rosenborg. The 5 key things that came out from that game. Number one is that the players are looking a bit sharper than what they were during the first preseason game against Wrexham. They look sharper. They looked sharper yesterday. They were pressing. They were tackling. In fact, they were flowing. There was this coordination with the players. So having trained for like 2 weeks together, they are beginning to look sharp after staying away from football for like 2 to 3 months. So the players are looking a bit sharper than what they were during the game against Wrexham. Then number two, Andres Santos is going to be a very good player for Manchester United. Andres Santos will be a very good player for Manchester United. Andres Santos is not going to give you that wow performance, that performance that will make you to shout wow, to rise up on your feet. No, he's not going to give you that kind of performance, but he's going to give you an assured performance. Now, against Rosenborg, I know it's just Rosenborg, but remember, the Rosenborg is already in the middle of their season. So against Rosenborg, Santos was everywhere. He was attacking, he was tackling, he was almost everywhere. And he was sniffing the dangers. Whenever he smells danger, you will see him there. So this is the kind of thing that Casemiro was doing for Manchester. And those line-breaking passes that he was throwing yesterday. So, in fact, Santos is going to be a very good addition for Manchester United. He impressed again in his second preseason game for Manchester United. Now, the third thing we'll learn is that Mason Mount is likely going to be the fourth midfield signing for Manchester United. Manchester United is looking for midfield reinforcement. They've signed two, looking for the last one. But with the performance Mason Mount is giving in this deeper role, I think this guy is going to be the fourth midfield signing for Manchester United. He was impressive again. The last game of the season, of last season against Brighton, he played in that deeper role. And Carrick tested him there, and he was wow. He was everywhere. He was so impressive. I think this guy is going to be Manchester United fourth midfield signing. Now, the fourth thing we learned is that the youth, for the young players in Manchester United, they are actually proving themselves. Yes, they are actually proving that they are trying anyhow. They are trying their best to come into the first team. They are doing very, very well. Manchester United scored 2 goals before bringing all the youth players, and these youth players came and massacred Rosenborg. They scored 3, and they could have scored more. So these young players, Harry Mars, Shelesi, what a wonderful goal from you yesterday. Williams, Kamerson, Tyler Fletcher, and his twin brother, all these young players, they are trying everything possible to come into the first team. They were impressive again yesterday after their impressive performances against Wrexham. Last thing we learned from the game against Rosenborg is that Manchester United is not far from full fitness. Yes, these boys are not far from full fitness. With the boys coming back, the World Cup players coming back from next week, next month, Manchester United is going to look a bit sharper than what they are. At the moment, they are not yet there yet, but they look better. They look better. So against Rosenborg, we saw a more improved performance of Manchester United. They are not far from full fitness. And don't get me wrong, Manchester United still need more reinforcement, both in attack and also in the midfield areas. So this is what we learned from Manchester United versus Rosenborg. The 5 key things we got from Manchester United versus Rosenborg. What else did you discover in that game against Rosenborg? Put it at the comment section. Let me hear and let's discuss about it. Thank you very much.